Hey guys, my name is Ethan, this is Carberra, and welcome to the series where I teach you how to analyze and visualize data in Python. Now that we've loaded our data into a data frame, we can start accessing data in it. So I'm going to be showing you how to select specific rows and columns from the data frame itself. Of course, if you find the video helpful at any point, then consider liking to let me know and subscribing so you don't miss out on new videos in the series. But yeah, with that, let's get into it. As you can see, I have taken the liberty of getting a bit of a head start. I have done the imports and I've done the data loading already just so I'm not repeating the same thing as before because it is basically the same. Just make sure to do read CSV and use the CSV one. And make sure when you're creating your file that it's a .ipynb and not a .py file, otherwise it's not going to work as you think it should. So we're doing the same conversion and everything, and we're going to run both of these things. And then it's going to give us the same warning, which we're just going to ignore, and it's going to give us our data set. So what we're talking about today is accessing different rows and columns. So this accessing of things, I suppose, works a little bit differently than it does in Python to some extent. But we're just going to do a little bit of basic stuff first. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to slice some rows out of it. So we have our data frame. So we're going to take our df slice, and we want, the 15th to the 50th row. So we're going to do df 15 to 50, and this will search our df. It will get from row 15 to row 50 or row 49. I don't quite remember, but either way, we can load that. As you can see, the index column is number 15. If we load the tail, we actually get answers to the question. It goes all the way up to 49. Okay, so it's not inclusive. So that works the same as Python. So it's getting row 15 to 49. If you wanted row 50, you would put 51 in here. So you can see there are 5 rows, 36 columns. So if I was to just print out the data frame, it would actually print out the whole thing. As you can see, we're just getting this slice of 35 rows, but we keep all 36 columns, which is, very useful to have. I'm just going to switch this back to df head, so it's not literally enormous. So now we know how to select rows, we can learn how to select columns as well. So I'm going to be showing you how to select an individual column as well as a group of different ones. And these are going to be in different cells because it's really useful for tutorials, actually, is what I'm coming to realize. So to select a specific cell, well, not df min, we can call it, df views. Actually, just call it views, because it's not even a df, it's going to be a pandas series. And we just do this. And, we've actually got to print the thing. But as you can see, it just takes the columns. So it still has the index here, but we have the name equals views, length 366, and the data type of int64. If we print the type of views, we'll see that it's a pandas.core.series and not a data frame. So you can think of this more as a list, or like a NumPy array. It still has your indices here, but it has the values here as well. So that's how you select a single column, but of course you may want to select multiple columns at once and kind of create a data frame using those. So what I'm going to do is we're going to call this dfmin, which is why I was calling the other one dfmin, because I was getting ahead of myself. And it's the same sort of thing, but there is a difference. So you'd think that maybe something like this would, work. And you think, you just pass in like a list of values. Nope, that's not going to work at all. You actually need to pass in a list as your slice, which is kind of weird to get your head around, but I suppose once you get used to it, then it's easy enough. So it's expecting a single value, essentially, is what's going on here. And if you just pass in a string, then it can see, you just want a single column. However, if you're passing in multiple columns, because it's still expecting a single value, you need to pass it in as a list. You might be able to get away with passing it as a tuple, actually. No, you can't, by the looks of things. How very odd. It does have to be a list. Interesting. Well, but when we run this now, you can see that we have views, comments, and likes. If you print the whole data frame, you can see that all the rows are intact, but this time it is just the 3 columns that we're taking. So what if you want to do both? What if you want to slice by the rows and the columns? Well, this works quite a bit differently. So we can do df section, I suppose, and then we're going to use the iloc. Now this iloc is essentially provides a slightly different interface for accessing, well, stuff. Pretty much, you can slice just rows or just columns using this, but if you want to slice both, I believe you have to use iLock. I don't quite know why that is, but if someone does know, please feel free to let me know. So this is also where the indexing becomes a bit different, because this is not possible in standard Python. So we can get the rows 5 to 9 the same way, and we can put a comma here and 1 to 5. So what this will do is it will get rows 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 from columns 1, 2, 3, and 4. So in this, it will get the day, views, read views, and comments. It should do anyway. If I'm not mistaken, it actually skips the day entirely. Oh yeah, because it's 1, not 0. Forgot, this isn't MATLAB. It is actually 0 indexed. Okay, so it's the views, read views, comments, and likes. So as you can see, we're just getting this particular section of the data frame. And this is something that I didn't actually test, so we're going to test this now and see if it's possible. What if you wanted to put this in here? What if instead, if you didn't want to, select the columns by an index, what if you wanted to cherry pick the columns specifically? Is it possible? No, is the answer to that one. iLock requires numerical indexes. Okay, so yeah, that answers our question. It literally just occurred to me that I'd never actually tried it before. And I thought I would do it live on camera, because isn't that the best time to try something new, when you're actually teaching people what you should have experimented with, perhaps before recording. But with that actually brings us to the end of the video. It's another very simple one. As I said, we're just kind of going through the basics one at a time at the moment. If you do have any questions, don't be scared to leave a comment in the comments below. All this Panda stuff can be quite overwhelming, even the basics to newbies. It took me a little while to get my head around all this. So really, honestly, don't be scared to leave a comment. If you want a faster response, enjoy the Discord server. They'll be able to help you out a little bit better. We've got a team of helpers and everything and all that. So what I'm saying is don't be afraid to ask, basically. But yeah, with that, I'd like to thank all my awesome patrons for being epic. I didn't use amazing at all that time. And I'll see you next time when we talk about adding and removing columns from our data frame. So you don't want that red views one? It can go. It can just go. Or do you want a separate one that does other things that I can't think of an example of right now? You can add that in. So we're going to be doing that next time.